Now we have everything we need to start developing a load generator. But first we should analyze the basic concepts that form the foundation of the Gatling framework. In the diagram, I combined these concepts to make it easy to develop a generator. The algorithm of the load generator can be represented as follows. We are running some kind of simulation. The simulation runs with the predefined parameters, usually the duration of the test and the rate of sending requests to the system. Several scenarios can be invoked in the simulation, but here we got only one scenario. As part of the scenario execution, virtual users are called. They are gradually being injected into the work, and while the test lasts, each user executes a chain of requests. The chain consists of 3 sequential requests. These requests are being sent to the testing object. After the test is completed, all users are removed from the simulation and report is generated. Based on this report, we can make the first conclusions about the performance of the testing object. Now we should analyze how the testing of open systems differs from closed ones. An online store is a typical example of an open system. When users open the site, they do not know anything about each other and so perform all the actions independently. A call center is an example of a closed system. Users make calls to the call center. The call center has a limited number of employees. So, some users may become dependent on those who are currently talking to employees. Such users are forced to queue up and wait until an employee is released. So, to sum up, open systems do not have control over the rate of the users which connect to them, but closed systems have such control. Before starting to test any application, it is necessary to define which type of systems it belongs to. Choosing the wrong model leads to incorrect results, because the behavior of virtual users will not correspond to the behavior of real users which interact with the application in real life. Since our testing object is an online store, it is necessary to test it only as an open system. But in order to demonstrate and expand our horizons, we will test it as a closed system too. Let's start with analyzing the testing of the eShop online store as an open system. A scheme is presented, which means the following. Throughout the duration of the test, the load generator will inject into work more and more new users. Each of them will establish a connection with the online store. Next, user will make a chain of 10 sequential requests. At the end of the chain, the user will close the connection. And then the user is destroyed. As I have already mentioned, throughout the duration of the test, more and more new users will be injected into work. So, in order to maintain the rate of requests to the online store at a certain level, for example, 100 requests per second, it is necessary to be injecting into work 10 users per second, where each user performs 10 requests, and the total duration of this request should not exceed 1 second. Now let's look at how to test the eShop as a closed system. To achieve this goal, the algorithm of the load generator will be constructed as follows. First, the generator will inject all scheduled users into work, thereby limiting the number of users who can work with the system. Next, each user will establish a connection to the online store and begin to execute a chain consisting of 10 sequential requests every 10 seconds, where n is the rate of sending, for example, 1 time per second. During the entire duration of the test, the user will hold the connection and close it only when the test ends. In order to maintain the rate of requests to the online store at a certain level, for example, 100 requests per second, it is necessary to set the load generator parameters n from point 1 and point 2b. So, with 10 users and their execution of the chain every 1 second, 100 requests per second will be sent to the system, provided that the duration of the chain execution will not exceed 1 second. For clarity, I have prepared a special document that will allow you to calculate which parameters need to be set when testing an open model and a closed one. For an open model, you will need to set the user rate per second parameter. So if each user performs one chain, then the rate of chains per second will be also equal to 10. And since each chain consists of 10 requests, the total rate of requests per second is 100. The same rate of requests can be set when testing the eShop as a closed system. To do this, you need to set the parameter number of concurrent users, as well as the period of execution of actions. So, with 10 users and a period of 1000 milliseconds, we will get the rate of execution of chains as 10 chains per second. And since each consists of 10 requests, the total rate of request will be 100. The same rate can be obtained if you set 100 users, where each user executes one chain every 10,000 milliseconds.